Four Nations, a concept that should stay in hockey and other leagues should emulate. It has come to discussion that precisely the NHL, for no surprise, is totally targeting the fact of making the Four Nations concept be that of the replacement or, a definitive solution to the All-Star games. Me, never have been a fan of said All-Star games, not even when I was a kid. Well, maybe when I was a kid, the fact that you see the All-Stars play and whatnot, but it only has such a short lifespan. I think that All Star games, looking at it very specifically, objectively, they ran its course. In any, maybe in baseball only, it's where you see an All Star game that is maybe worth something, and even the All Star game for baseball, sometimes it can feel a little dull. The NHL definitely struck gold with this concept. Now, granted, where there'll be people that will say that strongly the political influence that was sparked between the U.S. and Canada, thanks to the imbecile that is the president and all the terrorism, and him wanting to say the 51st state is Canada and all that bullshit. Well, yes, there will be people that will appeal to that. However, I think that beyond the fact that the heat that existed in the moment between the US and Canada, and that it still exists, by the way, I think that there's still something that can definitely be brought to the table, that it's just a far better concept in general, and one that definitely it works out better. You see, personal conflict just does something different. It sells in a different way. It makes everything excel. Reason, well, it's different. When you actually have a personal motivation behind something, it's not the same as, well, we have to show up and be there kind of thing, right? But to that, you add the fact and the element of adding the flag. A league like the NBA, where the All Star game is very, very dead, extremely fucking dead, should definitely benefit from aggregating a concept that, I don't know, you don't have to do the Four Nations concept. You can maybe go like, I don't know, the US versus the world if you want, which has been a concept that has been dangled for a while. Now, it's not granted, it's not warranted that the US would win that affair. And that makes it even better because if you just go into a matchup where you know who the foe is going to win, well, if you already know the winner, it bans it loses thing. But that's the thing. Maybe there is not as much, because it's not as balanced as in hockey and the NBA, for you to pull off a team USA and other nations that you can actually present. They're still not that balanced out talent. We saw it in the Olympics. Serbia with Jokic couldn't just get through the finish line because the talent for the US still is superb in that sense. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be competitive. Look at France, look at Serbia. The game they gave out to the US with its full cannons, right? So that could work. Would we know that still in the end the US would be the winner? Probably. Yeah, but it's easier to be sold on the fact of the flags actually being bared and that drive and knowing that they have to play to 100% in order to win than rather have a bunch of players just looking like jackoffs being there to just complete this. And not even to mention the horrible concept the NBA had for this All Star game, which was like, what the shit? What pick of basketball bullshit is this? Baseball, again, I think that it's in a renaissance moment, but I don't know that I'm ready to say the renaissance has actually sparked anything to the All Star game itself. I think something needs to fire it up, knowing how conservative they are still in some things and how it's been a struggle for Manfred, even though that he has been successful in implementing better things. I don't know that it's going to be the quicker to pick it up, but hey, who knows? Manfred is very good, and I think that these final years that he has as a commissioner, he's going to make sure to make as many good moves as possible. So don't discard that. Now, saying that, the NFL, who is entertained, again, maybe the little kids, and I'm saying little to specify the very younger kids, have an entertainment and the pro games and all that. God, it was unbearable to see all these events regarding the Pro Bowl weekend. Again, who is this made for? Is it made for the smaller children? Great. But do we forget that adults are the ones that drive the money? They are the ones that make sure that those children can get the merch. It's unbearable indeed. I mean, I don't know who can actually tell you, oh yeah, I enjoy those games. No. Is it better than what the Pro Bowl game was? Well, I guess, but is it the best solution that someone can give? No. The NFL can do better. The all-star concepts for games can be better in general. So why not have something that can be better and have it now? I think that Four Nations is definitely the mold to follow. Again, in hockey, the logistics is different. The talent between these four nations is more balanced out. So it's easier to have something that can give you a surprise winner. In the other sports, not necessarily transferable in that same regard, because again, you can have in baseball, if you do the U.S. is still going to be the best with DR coming in at second. But a battle between the U.S. and the Dominican Republic, yeah, you're going to say you have the World Baseball Classic for that. But yeah, we have to wait years for that. Why can't we actually have it every year and have the spark of money that generates? So you put in the top countries, your Japan, your Venezuela's, and whatnot. That would dynamize things a lot. Because again, once you add the flag, it becomes distinct. Now, granted, I know that the other sports, team sports, I think that all sports are really team when you really think about it. There's no individual sports. But anyways, you get my point. They don't have as much a culture as in football, soccer, right? However, that doesn't mean it can't be created. And I think the moment you spark up having the flag being in the middle, representing that, that changes the name of the game. So, yeah, please follow the steps of hockey. I think it could be great. Definitely look forward to them doing that. I hope it happens. Definitely. So, I'm looking forward to hockey making this official. I'm looking forward to the other leagues to following course. I want to read your comments. I know that many of you are going to be excited. Who isn't totally, absolutely tired of these out of date concepts? Like, oh, yeah, here the boat, yada, yada. It's boring. So, yes, let's have something like the Four Nations in all sports. Let's do this. Remember, be happy.